I want to start with Yasir, actually, sir, because Yasir Saab recently wrote a very interesting article, because from time to time we have criticisms emerging regarding CPEC, and many people are not really aware or not clear about what CPEC is all about. So recently we had somebody in the press report about a $40 billion debt that Pakistan might be incurring. So if you could clarify exactly what that was all about, Yasir.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I think it's since the idea was conceived in 2013, recurrently we have seen, these kinds of far-fetched analysis being drawn by the critics. Now, when we talk about the critics, we know that there is an international criticism against CPEC. By international, what I mean is particularly from India and USA, because they have their own rationale, they have their own reasons for opposing the Belt and Road Initiative and CPEC as well. But it becomes doubly difficult for us to, when our own very critics are talking about CPEC, and then based on completely, some bizarre kind of analysis are emanating from our side. I think there is, for what is needed, because time and again from the government side as well, things have been clarified. But what I see is that this is not a long-term solution, because every now and then we rebuttal such kind of articles or such kind of analysis. What we need to do is that we need to educate. I think education is much more important. We need to give that proper awareness that what is the whole umbrella of CPEC. For example, the gentleman is claiming that it's about 40 billion debt which Pakistan has to pay in the next 20 years. So my question is that how he came up with the next 20 years, because instead up till now there is only $18 billion which has been spent on some 22 projects. Out of that, 11 projects are completed and the rest of 11 are almost at the edge of completion. The loan part out of that is, it only accounts for about $6 billion. The rest is investment, the rest is grants, and the rest is some part of that is there are different modalities of that. That gentleman is putting all the investment into one basket and claiming with its own kind of analysis that Pakistan has to pay this much. And another thing is that Pakistan's debt, altogether debt, is about $100 billion. Out of that, $6 billion, if we call it a debt trap, if we comes up with an analysis that this is going to burden Pakistan's economy, I would see that it is just an absurd analysis. So, and even Chinese embassy have very openly, for the first time, it came up with detailed information as well as from the government side. But what I would recommend, and I see because I'm part and parcel of CPEC and I have been looking at these affairs for quite some time now, I think we have to have a certain media policy, media and communication policy, which is long-standing, which is based on facts and figures, which should be properly disseminated. But I see that these challenges are massive and huge. Only Pakistan government or Chinese embassy, they won't be able to defend this. I think the academia, the rest of the stakeholders, they need to step up and bring these positive and based on true facts and figures which are affiliated with CPEC. Only then we would be able to defeat and defend such kind of analysis which are emanating now and then. Because if you see, our real success would be that if these kind of analysis come to the surface, there should not be any kind of negative impression of that. But what happens with that is, because of lack of education, because of lack of understanding, people, it creates a kind of doubts and fears in the people's mind.